So here is your first look at a retail and fake pair of the Nike Dunk Year of the Rabbit, White Rabbit. Can you tell any difference between these two? Hopefully this comparison helps you. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at two pairs of Nike Dunks. And these are the Nike Year of the Rabbit White Rabbit. So this isn't the fossil colorway, it's the white colorway. It's a comparison for you between a retail and fake, and to help you if you are trying to purchase a retail pair. So the retail pair isn't actually going for much money anymore. It's about £120, I think it is. I think retail was like £115, so it's a £5 profit if you want to sell it. But it's just to help you because there are quite a lot of fakes out there, so you don't get scammed if you are trying to purchase a retail pair. I do have the fossil colorway coming very soon as well. Slightly more expensive, I think it's going for about £300, so it's a little bit more rare, and I have a comparison coming for that one as well. But we'll get straight into this comparison. So both pairs here are a UK 9, so they should be exactly identical. And they both come with this kind of like cover slip on top with a few of the details. So we'll take a closer look. So on top, you'll see it has a rabbit and a Nike swoosh. What I would say is the rabbit detailing on the retail one is a lot whiter than it is on the fake one. On the fake one, it has a slight yellow hint to it, so it looks a little bit dirty. And the overall plastic cover, as I take it off, is a lot dirtier compared to the retail one. And that's just how it arrived. The retail one, both of them being kept in the exact same room, no difference at all. And you can see there's actually a slight color difference between the two, with the plastic of the fake one being a lot more yellow compared to the blue clear plastic of the retail one. And then here are the two boxes. As you can see, they're very interesting. They are kind of like a rabbit fur, not the texture wise, but just appearance. And I'm not sure if I'm okay with it. Don't really like it. Kind of gives me a little bit of a weird vibe, and I just don't like it. But if we look closely at the details, we can see slight differences. So in terms of the actual fur print on both of these boxes, what is different is the retail one is actually a much more higher quality print than the fake one. The fake one kind of has a smudged look to the appearance of the print, whereas the retail one, you can see each individual hair very clearly, and the print quality is very good, and it's just a little bit disturbing. So yeah, you can weigh up the differences there. But we'll spin them around and take a closer look at the labels. If we take a closer look at the labels now, we can see there are slight differences. These are both a US 10, so you'd expect them to be exactly the same. But as you can see from the label, they are slightly different. The fake one actually has the factory printed stamp on the label itself, so it's a telltale sign straight away. If you look at other details like the actual font size, you can see slight variations between the two, and positioning of the label is actually different as well. But these are just small details you have to look for if you are trying to authenticate. The major one on this one is obviously the factory stamp that's placed directly on the label itself. But just keep in mind, the retail one was purchased in the UK, and the fake one is obviously based on the US market. So if you are looking at your pair, just make sure you know where it's from. But we'll open up the boxes and take a closer look, because nobody really wants me to talk about the boxes for the entire time. So we'll open up the fake one first, and they've weirdly come with yellow paper, and I'm pretty sure that only happens on the fossil one. And if we look at the retail one here, I am correct, because the retail one comes with this white and orange paper, almost like an off-white collaboration. They kind of have this orange rabbit and a blue swoosh, but the fake ones have gone for the wrong one because this one comes on the fossil colorway. But we'll take them out and take a closer look. So here is your first look at a retail and fake pair of the Nike Dunk Year of the Rabbit, White Rabbit. Can you tell any difference between these two? Hopefully this comparison helps you. So I've actually been sitting on this comparison for quite a long time, had a lot of comparisons to do, and I just never really got around to filming this one, but finally decided to do it, and we'll check out the shoes now. So the first difference we're going to take a look at is the actual toe box of both of these pairs. And as you can see, they're made of a suede-like toe box, and you can see that the retail one is a longer suede than the fake one. As you can see from the close-up, you can see the details are very different on the toe box area from retail to fake. Also, if you look at the bottom of the laces, you'll see it has this kind of like lace tag which says 2023, and if I show you from the close-up, you can see the 2023 text on the actual imprint is much more clearer and more visible on the retail one compared to the fake one. And if you look at the actual laces in the shoe straight above that, comparing them side by side, you can see that the laces are actually a lot thinner on the retail one compared to the fake one. And I would say the retail one actually has slightly more wax laces than it does on the retail one, but the clear difference is the thickness of the laces of both of these pairs. And in general, the thickness of the shoe. So if I hold them up side by side here, the fake one here is actually a generally thicker shoe and wider shoe, and kind of looks like an SB, but isn't an SB, I can promise you that. So the next difference we're going to take a look at is this kind of furry swoosh on the outside here. This is the retail one here in my hand, and you can see from the close-up, if you look at the swooshes side by side, you can see on the retail one, on the outline of the swoosh, you actually do have the material cutting down, and you can see that suede-like material on the outer edge of the swoosh, whereas you can see on the fake one, the kind of fur material goes all the way to the edge, and you can't see the suede-like material outlining the swoosh like you can on the retail one, which is very obvious difference between the two on the red swoosh. Spinning the shoes around to the back, and you can see it has a Nike embroidery on the heel here, and it's in a white color. If I show you this from the close-up, you can see there's a clear difference in sizing of this Nike embroidery at the back, and you can see it's actually much smaller on the fake one compared to the retail one. Also, if you look at the red underlying leather panel, you can see that this is much brighter on the retail one compared to the fake one. The fake one's an actual darker red compared to the retail one, which has a kind of really bright red, almost like the color of the swoosh and the tongue tag here. Spinning the left shoe upside down, taking a look at the 2011, as you can see on the bottom here, what I would say is if you hold them side by side, you can see the fake one looks a lot dirtier and used and just kind of aged a lot. So the color of the translucent sole has gone a bit yellow and dirty, whereas the retail one, you can see it's still crispy white, and you can see that 2011 very clearly underneath the bottom. So it just kind of looks like it's been used a little bit, but I can promise you they've both been in storage and both in dead stock in the exact same condition. If we take a look at the outer heel of both of these, you'll see it actually has a rabbit imprinted into the heel here, and we can see a clear difference between the two, which is probably the most obvious difference that I've pointed out so far. If you see from the close-up, you can see that the rabbit actually has details on the print itself on the retail one, whereas if you look at the fake one, you can see they've just stamped it in, but there's no detailing on the rabbit at all, and it doesn't actually look like a rabbit, it's just the outline shape compared to the retail one, where you can see the close-up details on the rabbit itself. So now we'll take a look at the right shoe. So on the right shoe, they do actually come with a set of white spare laces. And if we take a look at the lace tips on both of these, we can see a difference, especially with the red one. So if I give you a close up of the red lace tips of both of these, you can see that the retail one is a much brighter red once again, almost matching that kind of infrared swoosh and top of the tongue, compared to the fake one where they've gone for the darker, richer red, which just doesn't match the rest of the shoe and would look stupid if they put the laces on. Once again, on the underside of this one, it does actually say 2023, but the fake one once again looks a lot dirtier on the bottom of the sole. But I would say the 2023 on the bottom is much more visible because it's actually clearer sole used on the fake one compared to the retail one. The retail one is a little bit more cloudy on the bottom compared to the fake one. If you take a look at the label underneath the tongue, or we take a look at the text, we can actually see differences once again in the font size. So if you look at the bottom where it says made in Indonesia, you can actually see the font size is different from retail to fake, which I would actually say the fake text is actually slightly larger all across the label compared to the retail one. But this was once again a very minor detail and would be hard to see unless you had a fake pair of one side by side. So if you're just looking at one pair, don't look too closely at this label because it's really hard to see. So the same differences that occurred on the left shoe that I spoke about earlier actually occur on the right one, such as the rabbit on the corner heel being much more detailed on the retail one and the suede-like material on the toe box area. But that is the end of this comparison. I hope it has helped you if you are trying to authenticate your pair or trying to purchase a pair like this, because in my opinion, it's actually pretty clean and you don't see something like this every single day. The details on it are really cool and it does kind of come with a funky box, but it's not really my style, and the overall shoe is just a little bit too colourful for me. Thanks for watching, and if you do spot any other differences in this comparison that I haven't pointed out, please comment them down below so other people can see them and it'll help authenticate their pairs as well. The main things I'd look for is actually the toe box material, the rabbit on the back, and then the embroidered colour of the back here on this panel. But thanks for watching, hope you have an amazing day. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.